All right, so
Do you regret not thinking of anything to say today? Just kidding.
do you regret now that you didn't structure this out?
Yeah.
A little bit. All right, guys, welcome to our first ever podcast. This is Brandon Flihan. I'm your host. This is Luke, your co-host.
Hello, everybody.
This happens to be one of my best friends. I figured he'd be a good person to bring on the podcast because we train together at least once a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And CH, can you hit my headphones up a little bit? I just been dying to say that. You don't really have to. You can, though. You can. That's a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we train together at least once a week. Should be more. Used to be more.
Yeah.
And
For the past couple of years, right?
yeah, he's actually one of my only friends that's like heavily into bodybuilding, like myself. So I figure, you know, if anybody understands the game, this man kind of does. So yeah, I think we set this podcast up to talk about bodybuilding, fitness stuff, cover current news, pretty much anything. So if there's any current news going on, you could probably check here about bodybuilding and fitness stuff. Yeah, right, Luke?
Yeah.
All kinds of shit.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit. Are we swearing on this?
Yeah, I think so, because that's us.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
We probably should. So I think it's only right to do an intro to Luke and I to begin the podcast. So I kind of want to go over like who Luke is, who I am, where we're at in our lives, what we're doing career-wise with our lives, and what the plan is with the podcast. So yeah, Luke, why don't you kick that off? So tell them what you do. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
Carson's already roasting us, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, bro. Come on, bro. Have a little respect.
Great, but hey, what I will say, I'm just keeping it raw and real.
All right, raw and real. We're just
I like this.
You're loose out of focus.
All right. Can we don't have to cut that.
No, it's literally.
All right, raw and real. So okay, well, anyways, we'll just let him
Focus me up in the headphones.
Yeah, focus.
It's our first one.
So career-wise, what are you up to right now? Tell the viewers. This is somebody listening right now. This is a 17-year-old kid. He's into health and fitness. He wants to go deeper into bodybuilding. He's where I was leaving high school.
Yeah.
He just clicked on this podcast. He knows
Yeah.
Brandon Flihan. Who's his co-host? Go.
So my priorities have kind of changed since we got out of high school. I got a family now. I got a wife and a kid. And still, I wouldn't say bodybuilding. I haven't done a show yet. But
Well, you're in the gym training.
I'm
You're
in the gym
bodybuilding.
every day. Yeah.
He diets. He weighs his chicken, ladies and gentlemen. He weighs his chicken.
I'm pretty religious with it when it comes to the weighing and MyFitnessPal.
For sure.
Got a career. I'm a first responder in the city of Las Vegas.
Yep.
So that kind of takes up 40, 60 hours of my week.
Yeah, professional
And then-
badass.
Oh,
Professional
stop.
badass.
Oh, stop. And and then I'm in the gym 2 hours every day, and then I got the family the rest, so I'm fairly busy.
Well, it depends. 2 hours in the gym. We
Yeah.
we went to coffee last night with
We did.
Kara and my girlfriend Haley.
Yeah.
And supposedly you're in the gym
4 hours.
4 hours if it's with me.
Yeah, we've cut it down to once a week, maybe 3 times on the weekend.
Yeah.
But
We
yeah,
can
it is
only
a-
go once a week because we get locked in that
Yeah.
motherfucker.
we notice ourselves in this setting in the car, in the swag wagon, as Brandon likes to call it.
I've never called it. It's a swag.
Oh, a swaggin. My apologies.
Yeah.
It's a grandma wagon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, bud. Carson, what do you think about that?
I don't even know what the car is.
It's a swaggin. You
It's a
saw it
swaggin.
yesterday.
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
And it's diesel. He's going
40 miles per gallon.
eco-friendly.
40 miles per gallon. Sorry, guys. We had a power outage, so we had to cut that clip just now. What I was going to say is Luke is a first responder here in Vegas, also aspiring to compete.
Yeah.
Hopefully sometime
I think
2022, so this year.
I think we're thinking towards the end of November.
Yeah.
We're still chopping it up.
Hopefully November.
Yeah.
Maybe sooner.
Maybe.
Maybe sooner.
Maybe later.
And, yeah, maybe later. Maybe later. We'll see how the off season goes.
I think there's no need to rush. Everybody asks, "Oh, when are you going to compete? When are you going to compete?" You know, I think you should
Yeah.
take your time, and I think when you're ready, you should.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I just did that last show, and I completely agree. For,
Right.
like, people looking to compete and whatnot.
Mhm.
I did that rushed, for sure. Like, I should have done an off-season. That's one thing
Right.
I hate the word regret, but, like, that's one thing I should have done was an off-season.
Right.
And I think if you're coming into bodybuilding and fitness and stuff like that, like Luke's fairly new into bodybuilding, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say 2 years now, really hard.
Yeah.
You've been in the gym. Luke's been in the gym, since 2012, 2013?
Yeah, out of high school, right? Still going.
Still building.
Still fresh.
Got another kid
Yeah.
on the way. hopefully
No,
soon.
don't ever
Hopefully
put that.
she said that.
Don't put that in my mouth.
She said it.
We're waiting years.
We're
One's
waiting
enough.
years.
I'm running around. I got too much to handle.
You got your hands full.
Let's get to you.
Yeah, man.
So
Anything.
So we kind of went over the bodybuilding thing in high school. You come out, you pursue bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Let's go from there.
Yeah, so I kind of pursue bodybuilding. Right now, like professionally, I own a personal training business. I kind of touched on that. Yeah. Right now, I'm a one-man band. I did that for, God, years. Remember Justin Volpone? Mm-hmm. He was my first client in high school. I was in like 10th or 11th grade, and I was into lifting back then. And Justin was like, dude, how can I get in shape like this? I'll pay your gym membership, he said. I'll pay your gym membership. I said, okay. Just let me train with you. That's all he wanted. Let me train with you. And I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing in 10th, 11th grade. I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. But then he ended up seeing crazy results. And from that sparked the interest of training people for me, because I remember leaving high school, my dad looked at me and he was like, you're either going to get a job or go to college. You're gonna go to college, get a job, and if you don't do either of those, you can leave the house. Yeah, you know my dad, dude. Mm-hmm. My dad's like dead serious when he says shit like that.
Yeah. Also a very successful businessman.
He is, yeah, he is. He owns a window tinting company here in Las Vegas. Him and my brother, I guess, co-own that, right? Yep. So where did I leave off with that? Drawing a blank.
You just trained Volpone.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so my father was the one that looked at me and he was like, you get a job, you go to school, or you get out of the house. And I was like, okay. He's like, why don't you just pursue fitness and, look what you did with Justin. Like, why don't you do that professionally? Right. And I was like, I'll try it. So I was 17 years old. I got a job at Gold's Gym, Lake Mead in Buffalo. Yep. And that sparked it for me because they were paying me $8 a session. It was god awful.
Oh yeah.
But I was a kid. Like I remember my first check was like $90-something, and I was stoked.
Oh yeah.
It was like $90. I just made $90. It took me like 3 weeks. Awful.
Did you have to clean the equipment too? Was that the part of the details?
This was before COVID.
Oh, okay. So that was a COVID thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Proceed.
So that happens, and then there was this big talk of like the trainers in the town at the time going to this extremely popular gym, and that was called City Athletic Club. So I just figured I got a job. Mm-hmm. I'm good at my pop's book, like I could stay at the crib, focus on training. Obviously, I'm 17. I don't really know any better, but I got to grow up, get like a legit job.
Yeah.
So everybody's talking about the City Athletic Club. I remember I get in the car one day after work and I drive over there and I pull up and it's this massive building. You remember the building. I'm still there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's this massive, beautiful building. And I remember walking in. It was just like the weirdest atmosphere for a gym. Carson, you remember that? The weirdest atmosphere for a gym. You walk in, it's like, it was like a nightclub in Vegas. And it was semi-close to the Strip. If you come to Vegas, it's on Sahara and Buffalo. So it's like, I'd say maybe 5-10 minutes away from the Strip. So I pull up, I'm like real nervous, this 17-year-old kid, pull up in the Mustang, walk in. How do I become a trainer here? Like, and one of my friends specifically says to walk in and ask him how to become an independent trainer. So I walk in, I talk to the owner, how to become an independent trainer. He says, you got to pay $500 a month. I'm like, I just cashed my first $90 check, bro. Right. Can you work with me? So the New Yorker comes out. I try haggling him with it a little bit. I'm like, come on, bro, work with me a little bit. I'm 17. I need to figure this out. I have a passion for fitness. I explained who I am, what I did. I'm competing right now. I have aspirations to continue to compete. Let me work with you. Teach me how to run this business. And Jay Jung, he was the owner of City Athletic Club. He actually helped a lot in the process from, I'd say, 17 up into 19 or 20 years old to get that business like up and running. Because he kind of he would check in with me, each month. People said a lot of weird things about Jay, like a lot of bad things, but that guy, like I got to give credit where credit's due. He would sit down with me, kind of mentor me a little bit, help me through the fitness stuff. He always told me to hammer social media. And that was about the time I got on social media. So I built the personal training business from 17 onward to, God, what year are we in? 2022. Yeah. I'm still doing it. Yeah. And now we're still hammering the business and hammering social media. And I plan to take the podcast and kind of tie that into the whole fitness thing and kind of expand everything as much as possible.
Right.
And grow everything, honestly.
2011, you were 17, right? Was that out of high school, or was you still in high school when this all happened?
I was out of high school.
What social media was around? Was Instagram starting and all that stuff?
I was on Instagram, but I was so scared of Instagram. I was so scared of like, dude, you guys, like, knowing I was on Instagram, because I was posting like workouts, or I was posting like ab shots. Remember back in the day, everybody posted ab shots.
It wasn't like how it is today.
It was different.
Like, it wasn't that mainstream where everywhere you look is a fitness profile.
Listen, when you're on Instagram and you're leaving high school, like I was leaving high school, it was more or less like people looked at it as weird.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went on there and I had Jay Jung in my ear, and I had Lou from Muscle Mania, the owner of Muscle Mania at the time, in my ear, telling me to be on these platforms. And I'm a kid. I don't know anything about these platforms. And, you know, like, you guys, I didn't tell anybody, but like I had built up like 10,000 followers by the time high school ended.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm looking at, I remember Bradley Martin at the time had like 90,000 followers. And I was like, now everybody has 90,000 followers, but like, that was like godlike. I'm like, what? So that was a big motivation for me, because I'm looking at these guys and I'm like, him, there was Simeon Panda, like all those guys. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But I didn't talk about it because I didn't want to be judged at the same time. You know, like, this kid's full of himself. Yeah. Now you go on social media, everybody's on social media. Yeah. So it's really strange. So that, I took that social media and I leveraged it into my business as much as possible, which definitely helped me tremendously. And I'm trying to push Luke to get more on social media now.
Well, I feel like I'm kind of learning, because I was on social media with you. I was trying to create a following, and then I had to delete that for work purposes.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. But
in 2015.
Yeah. In a way, the social media kind of pushes you a little farther, because then you start seeing not only your progress in the gym, and then, you know, you were taking first places in Muscle Mania.
Yeah.
But then your following on social media starting to boom.
Yeah.
And then that, I feel like that kind of pushed you, did it not?
In which sense? Pushed me
just like
business-wise?
Yeah, business-wise. And in the gym.
Dude, both ways.
Yeah,
both ways. People look at social media as such a bad thing, but I say without social media, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Right.
So, like, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be even on social media, for the opportunity to live in the era we live in.
Right.
I can't imagine training clients in the early 2000s and the 90s. You know, if I was born 10 years earlier, I think my life would go completely different right now.
Yeah.
I'd be a 40-year-old trying to start an Instagram page. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be that guy.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a blessing in disguise, and really interesting to have those platforms to use. And now, you know, Carson's the man behind the camera. I didn't even give him an intro, like one of my best friends as well. He's going to hit a button. I already know it.
Hey. He's dying to hit that button.
So we don't have a camera on him. Do we? No camera on Carson.
You said the next podcast, right?
We'll do it eventually.
All right,
Yeah.
eventually.
But yeah, so Carson was always one to talk. You always talked about podcasts, yeah? Yeah, content creation. And Carson actually built this studio, and he was like, yo, come check this out. Come use it. Let's do a podcast here. And I was like, dude, I'm done. Sold. Like, Carson and I started making content in 2015 as well.
I'm saying Carson was one of the OGs with the content creator stuff.
For sure.
This dude had ideas when we were 17 years old. We were like, dude, this dude's a genius.
Yeah. We just took it and ran with it and tried to do, the most that we can with the ideas. So we're still, I mean, not that we know everything about content by any means, but we're at least taking our strikes and trying different things and pushing different things. We've done Facebook, we've done Instagram, like Luke had brought up a point before we got on camera. I've been on YouTube since I was 17.
Right.
Like, yeah, I might not have like a following on YouTube, but it's, I've published videos on YouTube since I was 17. Yeah. So forever. It's just a learning. It's a never ending learning process. And it's really interesting. So I think with Luke though, you want to get into Twitch a little bit.
I do, yeah. I feel like that's one of the avenues that I like, because obviously the gaming.
Yeah.
And there's not much, well, now you see like all the sports and everything going into the Twitch gaming. I'm not sure if you're too familiar with it. But
no, yeah, for sure. What's the guy that does the live streams and the garage that everybody's watching?
Yeah,
He's
Nick
working
Merckx,
out.
dude.
Nick
and
Merckx.
he like... And
he does,
he
does good.
He's not like a bodybuilder.
You like him?
I like him. Tim
Tim the Tatman's a good one
I've heard
too.
that name.
Me and my friend Alec, dabbling. Remember him?
Yeah. We played COD with him.
Yeah.
I remember him.
We were big fans of the Dr. Disrespect. We think he is his content is hilarious.
I've never seen it.
I'll have to show you some videos
I've
because
never seen it.
he is like a persona. It's not really him
Yeah.
behind the camera, but or on the camera. It's not
Yeah.
really him. But yeah, I think Twitch is just fun because I'm passionate about video games and all that
I think
stuff.
it's smart.
And I think I need to dive into that, but I'm just trying to find the time and trying to find the studio.
Seriously. Seriously. So
Create the room.
yeah, exactly. I think that should be a goal.
I think the podcast, though, I'm a big fan of the podcast idea.
This idea right here.
Yeah, Brandon brought this up, was it last Saturday?
I don't know. I talked to Carson and I was like, let's just rip a podcast.
No, it was Thursday.
Yeah,
we
it was
worked
like
out
recent.
2 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
And Brandon,
yeah.
we're sitting in the car in this setting, like we
Yeah.
say, and he's like, what do you think about a podcast? Would you get on a podcast with me? I'm like, dude, of course.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then he hits me up yesterday. He's like, we're doing it tomorrow. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Do you have ideas? This is your podcast, bro.
Yeah.
No, we don't even have like a name. Like we don't have anything. It was just more or less like, let's just get the ball rolling. Let's talk about who we are, give somewhat of an intro, somewhat of a backstory. And I wanted to kind of set a base and a tone for like what we're going to talk about on the podcast as well. So current events, bodybuilding, health, fitness, anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
What's kind of like the end goal with this? You just want to keep pushing out content for as long as you can?
Honestly, like Carson and I had the conversation as well. Like it's more so the content that like I enjoy producing content for sure and making stuff. Certain content more than others. And I was like, what if this is something I enjoy doing?
Yeah.
Like, and we can publish this and do this once a week with an enjoyment factor behind it and not necessarily look at this as like, oh man, I got to film this workout right now.
Yeah.
Like more so just like, oh, we're going to go hit the studio.
Enjoyment.
Yeah. And chop it up.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
It's a
that.
good name. And yeah. And just kind of get in a rhythm of like building this long-term wise, to make money. I don't know. I think it's more so like to tie into my brand a little bit more, to tie into bodybuilding and fitness more, get to know, I want to keep it real too. Like I want to talk about bodybuilding and if there's something health and fitness wise that doesn't make sense to you, hopefully Luke or I can explain it in a way that it does.
Right.
And you can go on YouTube and type in like, what is L-carnitine? Or like all these random things that I had questions about when I was 16, 17, 18, 20, whenever I was first like really getting into it. And if I could be that guy for like somebody else, like that would be dope. So yeah, and at the same time make enjoyable content.
Yeah, I like that.
Do something.
I will say, going back to like the health and questions and stuff like that, we do not to brag or boast, but I feel like you and I do a lot of reading about just new nutrition trends and all that stuff.
I do. You do too.
Yeah.
But I think the big difference is that you and I do, like, the big difference that you and I do aside from other people is we'll put it into action. Like I've never been a guy that's like, the science says this is stupid, and this is one way, and it's proven, and like I never was that guy. Like it's always like, yeah, dude, I've done the keto diet, I've done carb cycling, I've done all of this. Right. This is what works best for me. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm not telling you that Bill Nye the Science Guy says otherwise, and it's a stupid thing to do. I'm telling you what worked for me, like to get me from point A to point B. And this is something that like Luke is going to dive into competing. He's going to learn. I'm into competing as much as possible right now, with aspirations to take it even further. So we're actively doing this and actively trying to progress. Like we're not putting on a front and saying we're here, we're the best, we are Mr. Olympia 7-time. Like we're not saying that. We're like, yo, here's our journey. Like if we make it to the Olympia, dope. Like if not, here's the physique we built and here's how we did it.
Yeah.
And that's really like with the podcast, that's what I want to keep it like OG with.
Yeah. Like
keep that based around like, yo, we tried this week, or we tried this month, or for 6 months and this didn't work. Like I like that.
Yeah.
I like
real
that.
Experience definitely beats just reading about it.
Yeah.
You really got to dive into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it takes time.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of reading, but we also put a lot of shit into action.
I like that.
So
I like that.
Keep it real.
So are we thinking like this podcast once a week?
I think you guys can pretty much guarantee an episode once a week as long as Carson allows us in his studio. He's kind enough to let us in here. Do it once a week for sure. So
He looks good.
God, he looks good.
You guys look great.
Thank you,
Aw,
man.
aw.
How's the footage look?
Dude, it looks awesome.
Hell yeah.
This looks, it really does.
I'm excited. How long have we been going right now?
Right now we're at 26 minutes.
Wow.
All right, so listen, I think this was a really good first episode. I don't want to close it out. Like, I'm actually down to rip a whole nother episode. I do want to touch on one thing real quick.
Okay.
I think at the end of every single episode, Luke and I are big music buffs.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Big music buffs. So, like, no!
Hit him with it. Turn me up in the headphones,
I remember
please.
that was a little bit. So, I think we should end the first podcast and every podcast with a recommendation, gym music wise. You give one, I'll give one.
Okay, well,
If you give mine, I'll
steal
come
you-
across it.
I'm sorry, Brandon Flihan. I'm going to steal yours right now.
What is it?
We came across that Trippy Red mixtape today.
Yeah, Luke sent me a Trippy Red mixtape that is absolutely phenomenal.
What's the name of it?
Oh man, let me see.
You got it up? It's on datpiff.com.
We'll send a
Where'd you
solid,
find this?
solid recommendation. Damn, son.
Damn, son.
Hate is dead.
Yeah. It came out December 21st.
It doesn't really have much traction. It's only 22,000 plays.
Yeah, the first song is phenomenal,
Yeah.
but then the rest of the songs are under 2 minutes.
This is like real gym music. Before you guys click on it and you think we're all weirdos.
Yeah.
Like this isn't something you sit down and you like smoke a cigar to.
Right.
Like this is something you don't even listen to the lyrics,
Mm.
honestly, because it's what he's talking about is probably not the greatest
No,
stuff.
no. It definitely gets you going, though.
It definitely gets you going. I'll leave you guys with an old school one. Let's say, yeah. Oh man, maybe I shouldn't go old school. Let's just see what I've been listening. You know what?
50 Cent, you're going to say it for your first
R.I.P. I won't say that.
one. Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Draco the Ruler because I found him when he passed.
Yeah.
And
We've been
I was
bumping him
like,
ever since.
we've overplayed him too much. So again, not a lyrical genius by any means, but great gym music. All right. With all that being said, I'm your host Brandon Flihan. This is my co-host Luke.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, bro.
It was
No
great.
problem. Thanks for rolling through.
Of course.
CH, we love you, boy.
Till
Till episode 2. We'll see you guys then.
Yes, sir.